Isn't life so amazing? Sometimes it can get crazy, but hey, that's okay. We've got another day to make mistakes and say sorry. There's no sense in our worry, 'cause all we can do is try our best to make it through with love.
Hello and welcome to the Well, I Fucked That Up podcast. I'm Lauren Malone and I've got another mini fuck up episode for you today. And today I want to talk about a mistake I made over and over and over again for years in my business. And I want to think about the amount of revenue I was walking away from because I was doing this. And I know a lot of my clients used to do this. And I know a lot of coaches, online educators, mentors, people like that, they're doing this still. And this mistake is when you're in conversation with a potential client and they are interested and they ask you, great, this sounds amazing. What's the investment? And you say it's this much. And they say, oh, okay, I can't afford it. Or some version of I can't afford it. And the mistake that I made and so many people make is going, oh, okay, and leaving it at that. And I'm thinking back to how I felt when I used to do this. I didn't want to be pushy. I certainly didn't want to try and encourage anybody to put something on. I had a coach tell me to put something on a credit card once, and I was like, gross. So I was like, no, not doing that. It just felt really icky to say anything but, oh, okay. And what I'm going to do, I am going to share with you what you can do instead on this. But I just want to talk a little bit about why people say that, because it's not what they mean. Okay, it might be what they think they mean. They might think, oh, I know how much is in my bank account and all of that kind of stuff. So it might be what they think they mean, but it's actually an excuse. And it's protecting them, and they're trying to protect you. So they're coming at it with really good intentions, because sometimes people don't want to just be it's a really easy excuse to say, like, oh, I can't afford it, so the answer's no. It could be a protection from themselves. Often when people sign up to join a program or work with a coach or someone who's going to teach them something in a one-to-one basis or whatever it is, like, there's an element of getting out of their comfort zone, learning a new skill, learning a new way of working, learning a new way of thinking, whatever it is that you're sharing with them and guiding them through, that is going to take them out of their comfort zone on some level. So they're protecting themselves, and it's an unconscious thing. They're probably not even aware that that's what they're doing. So there's that element. There's also the element that they're probably, because if you're a nice person, you're probably attracting nice people, and nice people don't want to upset other people. So they're protecting you, because actually by putting the blame on money, then they're basically not sort of saying what the real issue is, and it's a nice way of saying no. So they're trying to protect you from rejection. And do you know what? For me, this worked for ages. People were saying I can't afford it, and I was going, oh, okay, and going around thinking, oh, well, there you go, that's not my fault. I might have looked at my pricing, but even when I'd come a long way in the money mindset stuff, I was still going, oh, okay, even though I knew that, I was like, it's not the price, but oh, okay, there's nothing I can do now. That's that. So yeah, they're trying to reject me, trying to prevent me from feeling rejected. Even though that's what they're sort of trying to do. So let's just start with that. They're actually being a nice person, and the intention behind the phrase "I can't afford it" is positive. However, it is quite simply an excuse. And what it really means is and this is really important, what people are really saying to you when they're saying, I can't afford it, or I don't have the money for that, what they're really saying is, I don't believe 100% that this will work, whatever this is. And that might mean that I don't believe you're the person to do it, in which case maybe you've not spent enough time nurturing that relationship. If you've just sent somebody a link to a sales page, for example, and they've probably gone straight to the bottom of that sales page, found the price, and then come back with, I can't afford it, you've not really spent the time nurturing that relationship. Maybe they need to see a few testimonials. Who knows? Don't know unless we ask. But it could be that they don't believe that you're the person to help them. It could be that they don't believe that the experience that you're offering is the best way to help them resolve whatever their issue is or achieve their goal. So lots of people, for example, believe that group coaching isn't as effective as one-to-one. It's not true. It's definitely not true. Group coaching has so many benefits that one-to-one just can't offer. So what you can do in that situation, if you find that information out, you can go, you might not be able to convince that person, I hate using that word, because ultimately, let's just let people choose if they don't believe it. But what you can do is start talking about the benefits of group work in your marketing, for example. Or thirdly, when they're saying, I don't believe it'll work, what they might be really, really saying is, I don't believe I am capable of doing the work to shift whatever it is I need to shift to get outside of my comfort zone and achieve what it is. So I have people who tell me they want 5K months, but ultimately when it comes down to it, they're not ready to join the Breakthrough to 5K program because they don't believe it's actually possible for them. And while we do a lot of money mindset work within the program, it's not my role to push them over that line. What I can do is be here when they are ready, when they've seen enough content and seen enough evidence to go, oh, do you know what, maybe I could do this. Okay, now I'm ready to learn how to do this. So yeah, that's what people are basically saying. It's not that they can't afford it, it's that they're making an excuse for all the good reasons, but they're basically saying, I don't believe that this will work. So what do you do when you're in that situation and someone says, I can't afford it? Because so what's happening when they're saying, I can't afford it? What that person is doing is putting themselves as the victim and they're putting money as the villain. And if you turn around to them and say, oh, it's not about the money, so what actually is it? That is a challenge, which is great, but it's probably not going to be received well if someone is in that victim villain place. So what do you say that really opens up the conversation? Well, for me, that really depends on where the conversation has been already. And I try and ask as many questions, have as much conversation with people who are thinking about working with me, because I want to know if they're a right fit for the program. I don't want people joining my program who I'm not able to help. So and I'm pretty good, but I'm not that good. I can't help every single person on the planet. So I do try and have these conversations to qualify people, make sure that I'm the right person for them and they're the right person for the program. But so quite often, if someone is saying I can't afford it, I'll go back to something and reflect on what the conversation has been to see if there's been any clues on what the real reason is. And then I might ask that. And sometimes it really is as simple as just asking, okay, so if money was no issue, would this be a yes? Because that's a yes or no answer. Right? Would this be a 10 out of 10 yes if money was no issue? And let's say they come back and they go, well, actually, no, I still wouldn't join. Okay, right, let's talk about that. What's stopping you? Oh, I actually don't want it, or whatever. Right. It could still be a no, that's cool. But it's about finding out why. And that's really useful for us as feedback as we create our marketing. Or they say, oh yeah, 10 out of 10, I would absolutely join if I had the money. And then, like, it's up to me how flexible I want to be. I don't offer discounts, but I might go, well, hold on, we could maybe get a little bit creative around how we do a payment plan, or what would work, where do you need to be in order to make it happen, so we can start having that conversation really, really openly, because we don't like talking about money as a society. We generally don't like talking about money, which means people don't. It means people, when they have sales conversations, they don't like talking about the investment side of it, and we try and like shirk away from it. But actually, if we can just go, okay, so you're telling me it's the money that's the issue. So if we pretended it wasn't, are you in? Yeah, I'm in. Okay, right. So you know that this program is going to get you to where you want to go. You know that I'm the person to help you get there. And you know that you're ready to commit to this. So how do we make that work for you? And the answer still might be a no, because ultimately, when people are then saying, you know, if someone says yes, like I would 100% join, but then they say, I am rambling, I do appreciate that. Right, control my thoughts. I love this topic. I could just talk about it all day. Okay, so control my thoughts. So someone has said yes, 10 out of 10, I would join, but they're still saying no. And what they're then saying is, I'm not willing to find the money or be resourceful to find that money. And again, that could be from a bit of either self-sabotage or self-preservation, or it could be, because we don't know what's going on for everyone's personal circumstances, it could be that they're basically saying, do you know what you're offering sounds great, I believe in you, but right now my priority is a certain level of financial security, so I'm not going into debt. Totally cool. You know, I'm not going to go and ask people for the money. Totally cool. Like, that's fine. There's no pressure. That's not what it's about. It's about just going, well, let's try and understand that. And you've probably, like, by having that conversation with somebody, being curious, finding out more about what their real reason is, you've probably done them an absolute huge favor, because you will have tweaked something in their little money mindset brain, a little bit of our brain that is always talking about money and thinking about money and impacting our behavior around money. So I hope you found this little fuck up helpful. And next time you're in a situation where someone says, I can't afford it, I'd really love to hear about how, because you've listened to this, how you handle it differently going forward. And of course, because I was literally just about to press record, like cancel the recording, stop the recording. And I was going to completely forget to tell you about my masterclass that is happening this week. So if you're listening or watching this episode on the week it comes out, then the masterclass is on Thursday the 16th, and the link to sign up for that is in the show notes. The masterclass is called the 5 Steps to 5K Months, and what I'll be doing is taking the people who attend through the process that worked for me. And what I'll be doing is, and it's also the process I take my clients through, and I'll be sharing how you can pull from this process the bits that you need to focus on in order to drive your business forward and achieve your first and continuous 5K months. You'll get a personalized action plan, so you'll know what you need to do to drive your business forward at the end of the masterclass. And I'm sharing this training, which is more stuff, more detail, more juicy awesomeness than I've ever shared outside of client sessions. So I'm so excited to be bringing this to you. Link is in the show notes for you to save your seat, and I would love to see you there. Talk soon.
Life's so amazing. Sometimes it can get crazy, but hey, that's okay. We've got another day to make mistakes and say sorry. There's no sense in our worry, 'cause all we can do is try our best to make it through with love.